I'm so happy that you guys find these helpful, so let's do another one. I was also charge nurse this shift again, but this charge nurse doesn't really have to respond to the rapid responses, so it's a little bit different. Start off by getting a report on all the patients. We had I think 21-ish patients out of the 24 beds. I wrapped up there, I went and said hi to everybody, and then I took a shit. Just kidding. I helped clean up a patient. Sorry, I'm sitting in my car. I work today too, and I'm a little tired and a little delirious. After cleaning up that patient, I helped set up a room because we were going to be getting a new admission, and then a nurse called me because she was having some issues with her rectal tube, and we went and troubleshooted it. Transferred a patient out of the ICU, and so then I went and stripped that room down, and then a nurse called me asking for help with a feeding tube placement. I actually want to do a video on some tips and tricks for feeding tube placement, so let me know if you want to see that. At 11, one of our other ICUs, their charge nurse was going to have to take an ER admission, so I went and just kind of checked in on them and helped land that patient. At 11:30, we had to do a really big wound change that needed a lot of extra hands, so went and helped with that for about 30 minutes. And then at noon, a nurse called me because they were going to be setting their patient up on CRT, but they couldn't find a machine on the unit, and so I went hunting for a CRT machine. Did not find one. We were literally using all of them. At 12:30, I helped watch for a nurse so she could take her patient out of the ICU. So I was watching her other patient. And while I was watching that patient, I helped strip 2 rooms of ICU patients that had gotten out of the ICU and then redressed an arterial line. After that nurse got back, I broke our unit secretary and then was watching a CRT patient as well. I think something got off with my times because that was only for about 30 minutes. But after I got done with that, I helped clean up more poop. And then a patient went into AFib RVR, so I went and helped troubleshoot that. And then more poop. At 14:30, a nurse called me saying that their patient was forming a hematoma after they had pulled the femoral line. So I went over to help hold pressure and make sure the patient was okay. We figured out a game plan and then set up a room for a new admission. I did get my lunch break, although it was at almost 4 p.m., but it is what it is. When I got back from that lunch, we were transferring a patient out of the ICU that needed their bed picked up for them. So I went to the other side of the hospital to pick up their bed, and then there was a fake code that was called. They called it code blue. I was on my way. They canceled it. It wasn't real. Sometimes the button gets pushed by mistake. So when I got back from that, I went around to all the nurses, got updates on all the patients, so that way I could hand off to night shift. We had to take a patient off of one bed and put them onto an ICU bed, and so I helped a nurse with that at about 6 o'clock. And then at the end of my shift, a travel nurse came in, and it was her first day in the ICU, and well, not her first day in the ICU, but her first time at this hospital, and she realized she got floated to the complete opposite side of the hospital. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to explain how to get there. I'll just walk you there. It literally is a half mile to walk there and back. Yeah, but I walked her there. She was very thankful, and then got back in time to do report. That was my ICU shift recap.